Hello everyone, today is Friday, January 18th. It's 3:06 p.m. It's about an hour before the regular session close. You can see my computer clock on my right, and on my left is the time and sales, the E-mini S&P currently trading at 2665.50. Unfortunately, I had computer issues yesterday. I didn't get to make a video, but I changed the limit order to 4 ticks on this 5-minute chart, and it's trading a lot more often. I had it set at 20 ticks, which is fairly deep pullback, so I moved it up, and this chart did really good yesterday and then also today, as you can see. What's interesting about this 5-minute chart is I'm also using the moving average filter, and I'm using the adaptive moving average, and you can see it plotted here on the chart. And because I'm using that moving average filter, it did not take this short trade, and it probably would have got filled, but it ignored the short trade and traded through it. And so quite a fantastic trade. I also moved the start time to 6:30 in the morning, as I noticed often these big moves like this start earlier than the open in the NASDAQ. So you can kind of see this kind of sideways action, and then it kind of broke out and ended up being a pretty big day. Anyway, this hit its goal of 2,500 with positive slippage of a tick or so. And so really impressive looking chart here on the NASDAQ. Okay, next up is the DAX on a 150 Heikin-Ashi chart, and this looks like it just had a single trade here, and it may have hit its goal of 2,100 and had some slippage. But in any case, the 150 Heikin-Ashi chart has been very good to us, and this is what you want, hitting its goal in a single trade. Okay, next up is the DAX on a Super Anko 14 tick, and this is the one with the $2,000 goal. This one hit its goal and had to take up slippage. You can see the initial drawdown here is about $500 or so, which is $250 per contract. And one of the reasons that I start flat every day is by observing how much your equity drawdown is for the day. You can potentially lower your loss limit. And so on this chart, I believe that the loss limit could be lower than what I actually show here. You know, some days it recovers from a drawdown, and some days it just, does not. In any case, this came back and hit its goal for the day after about 2 hours of trading. After about 4 hours of trading. Okay, the Dow E-mini contract on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart with a higher time frame filter of 60 minutes had a single long trade, and you can see it here, pretty nice looking. This has a goal of 1550, which I lowered. It was much higher, above 2,000, and so this hit its goal and had a couple of ticks of slippage, but exited near the high of this move, so pretty nice going on this chart. Okay, the crude oil on a Super Anko 7 tick has a goal of 1,200, so this had strong positive slippage after drawing down about $350 or so. Actually had 4 losers here, but they were small enough to only draw down a little bit. Actually only about 175 per contract. This is trading 2 contracts, and then it came back with this really solid long trade. Okay, the NASDAQ on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart did 1580, and the goal on this is 1550, so positive slippage on this chart. It looks like 2 winners and 1 loser, and you can see that here. And the trading was finished in the first 2 hours of trading. The NASDAQ is emerging as a really consistent market to trade now that I've dialed in some settings on some of the charts we're showing. Okay, the NASDAQ again on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart, a little bit faster time frame, and this drew down about $450 or $225 per contract, and then it came back with only 1 loser right here, 3 winners and 1 loser in this run, and hit its goal of 1550, I believe. So yeah, it hit its goal and had a couple ticks of slippage. Okay, the E-mini S&P on a Super Renko 4 tick. I plot several instances of this chart. This one has a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 6. This is the template here, a sensitivity of 1 and a limit order with a 1 tick pullback, and a stop loss of only 12 ticks, which is pretty tight. First target at 12 ticks, and a goal of 750. So this hit its goal and had positive slippage. Most of the 4 Renko E-mini charts that we follow today hit their goals. I'll get into those in a moment. Okay, this is the second Super Renko 4 tick, and this is new. On this one, I did a higher time frame of 60 minutes, and certainly this played out today. Somebody was asking about noise, and one of the ways to avoid noise is our really excellent higher time frame filter. And even with a higher time frame filter, if you get action like this, you can still have noise, obviously, but this doesn't happen too often. Our goal on this is 1050, and so yeah, while it avoided the short trades because of the action here, actually took a pretty steep drawdown, about $800 or $400 per contract. But then it came back with all these wins in this trend. Now, one way you could avoid this here would be to increase the trend sensitivity or increase the smoothing period, one or the other. That would be a way to avoid this action here, or potentially the moving average filter might help as well. In any case, this made a nice recovery and hit its goal for the day. Okay, this E-mini S&P Super Renko 4 tick chart has a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 6. It's a limit order with 1 tick, different stop loss, different profit target, and a very sensitive setting for the sensitivity. And so this one hit its goal with 0 slippage. Okay, next up is the crude oil on a Super Renko 8 tick with our line break logic. And this hit its goal in 2 trades here. You can see our goal here of 1020, a limit order with a pullback of 2 ticks. So pretty nice going on the crude oil Super Renko 8. Okay, the E-mini S&P on a regular 5 Renko chart had 2 winners and 1 loser, and looks like we made an equity high of a little bit over 700, and our goal on this is 800. So you can see our equity high here, so we came within a point of our goal, but failed to achieve it, unfortunately, and only ended up with 500 for the day, which isn't bad. Okay, a modest gain on the crude oil 987 tick chart of $430, and the equity high here was about 600 or so, and then had a small loser here, and we settled in at 430 for the day. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.